By the time I turned 30, I wanted to end my life. And here's why. My marriage crumbled, and I was raised expecting perfection. My A's defined my worth. My achievements defined whether I was worthy. And so when I got divorced, I felt that I did not deserve to exist. So I carefully planned my exit strategy, which I now call the gift of a failed suicide attempt. I got my favorite magazine, my 2 bottles of sleeping pills just to make sure I had enough, as well as sweetbread. I found a remote town on the island of Oahu, and my plan almost worked, except I left my light on as I lost consciousness. My body slumped over the steering wheel, and a guardian angel called 911. I later found out that the paramedics shared my suicide attempt would have been successful had someone called in 3 minutes later. So when I woke up in ICU, I remember my parents looking at me, trying to smile, letting me know that things would be okay. Of course, I felt shame enter every cell of my body. And then I turned to my friends who visited me, and I knew that they knew what I had attempted to do. So I, of course, self-criticized. What the hell? Why could I have succeeded? I was a planner. I was known to have great follow through, and I was accountable. So why could I not have succeeded this carefully thought out plan? Well, when I was released from the psychiatric unit at Queen's Hospital, everyone is required to be there after a suicide attempt. I finally realized, what was I thinking? I asked myself that question, and now that over 25 years have passed, I realized that every one of us sometimes believes the negative narrative, right? We all have that negative narrative, and sometimes it feels so real that we believe it. And I think that's why I started letting go with Aloha, a parent coaching business that started a month prior to the pandemic. And I realized that my mission is to help stressed parents navigate the roller coaster journey of parenting, because it is normal to want to give up. It is very normal to feel hopeless. And during my healing journey, I realized something very important, that it takes vulnerability, it takes courage, it takes time to heal. So when my dad shared something very shocking to my best friend, telling her that he felt 100% responsible for my suicide attempt, I wondered why. But he said it's because he never taught me how to lose at board games. That's when I realized we really believe in some crazy, negative, limiting beliefs. And it's amazing that if we do allow ourselves to get in that dark place, we might make some pretty bad decisions. So I decided to make it my goal in life, even if it's to help one person. When Sandy Davies, my soul sister from Australia, invited me to write a chapter in her Power to Rise Above book, I was confused, thinking, what story do I have to share? And then it dawned on me, I could write the gift of a failed suicide attempt. I never wrote those words before, and it seemed very just so removed because it happened over 25 years ago. But now that I've written it, now that I'm sharing it with you folks, I'm realizing that it does take courage to share, and it does require a lot of vulnerability. And I finally am at this stage in life where I don't care what other people think. I don't care if I get judged for it. I don't care if people see me as weak, because I know deep down that it takes a lot of courage to share some deep, deep stories from our past that create a lot of trauma. And it affected the way that I raised my daughters. I think a lot of my limiting beliefs involved what if they quit life? What if they didn't know how to handle adversity? But I shared my journey with them. And I know that they will never reach that place. They shared that they were scared that I would do something similar. And I had to reassure them that at this stage in life, I know that life is something to treasure. People do all kinds of crazy remedies to lengthen their lives. And I chose over 25 years ago to end it. So now I know more than ever how precious life is. And I also know that this too shall pass. So if you know anyone in that dark place, just know that we have to go through that thunderous storm. We can't go around it. We can't avoid it. But if we go through it, I promise you, you'll be rewarded by just amazing rainbows of hope, healing, and just knowing that you are worthy to exist. You don't have to earn your worth.